What's up, guys? So we got the 250 East kicking off in Tampa this weekend, and this field is stacked. All these guys who didn't want to race on the West because of, let's be real, they were dodging Deegan, a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them didn't want to race Deegan. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. And if you have subscribed, just double check, make sure you're still subscribed. I'm starting to see some funny stuff on the account again. And if you haven't hit that subscribe, accounts are judged off of subscribers. It doesn't affect pay or anything, but it does affect how they rank us and how they push out the videos on YouTube. So if you can click subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who's reached out with their address for the Nano-Xtreme. So what you do is just email me, chriscookseymedia@gmail.com, and just put your name, address, and then email at the bottom, and I will send you out a sample bottle of Nano to try. Don't take my word for how awesome this stuff is. Use it yourself, and then you tell me. And if you have sent your address, be patient. I'm going through hundreds and hundreds of these. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting them all out, but it's going to take a minute or two. If you don't want to wait, head over to Nano-Xtreme, use code Cooksey, and get free shipping, and your Nano will be there pretty quickly. We are just a few days out from Coach Rob dropping the Jeremy Martin interview. Now, I'm telling you, Coach asked a lot of questions, and he got some really good information from Jeremy Martin. I cannot wait to watch the entire interview. It's dropping Monday on the Coach Rob Network. Click the link in the description to head right to the Coach Rob page. He's got stuff on amateur racing, fitness, vet racers. That is a gem for content if you're looking for some. Head over to the Coach Rob podcast.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Let's break down the 250 East. These are the guys who've been sitting there like caged animals waiting to get their season underway. And there are some fast dudes in the East. I'm going to run through, and the order I'm going to run through these is how I'm kind of power ranking them. These are the guys that I think are the fastest and most likely to win the championship, and I'm going to go down through the top 10, 15 guys. I've got a bit of an upset as your number one rider heading into 250 East. This is a guy who's never won a straight-up Supercross race. Pierce Brown. Pierce Brown won the final round of SMX and has showed blazing speed throughout his career. And he finished out last year with the Gas TLD team, and he won the final round. He beat Hayden Deegan straight up. I know Deegan was racing for the championship, and he decided to back it off. But I'm telling you, Pierce Brown has speed to battle with anyone. His problem has been starts. What's going to be key for Pierce Brown is he's going to have to win early. He's going to have to get that monkey off his back that he hasn't won. Once he wins, he will certify himself as he believes, and he will be a title threat. If he can't get a win or has a bad couple first rounds, I'm going to go ahead and say no. He might still get a win, but he's not going to be in contention for the title. He has to do it early to get that momentum going and get that monkey off his back. Then you've got your defending East Coast champion, which a lot of people seem to have forgot. Tom Vial. He rode really good last year. He won this championship over Hayden Deegan. I know Hayden came in with the wrist injury, looked strong at the end, but he still hung tough and won the East Coast Championship. This is a two-time world champion who has really adapted well to Supercross. His weakness is whoops. Can he get through the whoops this year? They're a little bit different, and the whoops they're making this year seem to be a little harder than they did last year. Last year, there was a lot of rain. They actually flattened the whoops a couple times. So this is something that Tom Vial is going to have to prove he can overcome. But if he can do that, and I think he can, he is going to be right in the mix for this championship. Then we've got the number one Deegan Dodger. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to say that because Levi Kitchen, I know he was sick, he dealt with some stuff, but I really think in the back of his mind, he didn't want to go head-to-head with Deegan. That's something he's going to have to deal with when they have the East-West showdowns. I like to call it the old name with the SHOOT, but when I mention anything related to that, YouTube seems to shut down anything. You can't say anything directed with things that go like this, or they will slow your videos down. Now, Levi Kitchen could easily win this whole thing. These top few guys, like I'm ranking them in the order that I have them, but it is so close. One mistake here, one mistake there could completely switch this order. There's not a guy in the top 10 that I mentioned here that I would be surprised if they actually got a whole shot and won the race. That's how good this field is. There's a lot of stacked riders who are hungry. like I say, when they watch all these other guys go, they're like caged animals. Remember last year we had all that mayhem at the first round? The first round is going to be hard to get through. You have young guys that are just raring to go. They are ready. So you're going to have to make it through that first round. That's something Tom Vial, Levi Kitchen, they're going to have to get through this first round, salvage as many points as they can. They really need to be on the podium, but it's not necessary. But they can't have a 20th or DNF. That would be catastrophic to their championship hopes. Then you've got RJ Hampshire, the West Coast champion who wasn't ready to go. He's got that lingering wrist injury. Apparently he's good to go. And one thing you can guarantee about RJ Hampshire is he is going to lay it on the line. He is much like Jordan Smith, maybe even more. I call Jordan Smith the human highlight reel. This is human highlight reel number 2. And it's funny how their careers have literally mirrored each other, and they've been really close the whole time, and they're actually even friends. The thing with RJ is he's going to win races. He's going to be in the mix, but he has to stay healthy. We need to know where he's at with that wrist. Something that can't be overlooked is that massive head injury he had at the middle round of SMX. We're talking about his wrist, but those head injuries are nasty, and he has had way too many. So if he hits the ground much, I'm going to be very concerned. I'm already very concerned for RJ, and if he walked away right now because of the damage that he's done to his brain throughout his career, I wouldn't blame him. With that said, that's not happening. RJ wants to win races, and he's going to go out there and send it. I'm just hoping he keeps it on 2 wheels, and if he does crash, please don't hit your head. Then I've got somebody that a lot of people are kind of sleeping on, Seth Hamaker. People forget how good Seth Hamaker is at Supercross. He's won races. He's been in the mix. Because he disappears in the outdoors because of his fatigue issues, he always seems to get overlooked going into Supercross. This is a guy who has won and can win again, and he's getting a little older. If he's got his fatigue issues under control and he's feeling strong, and almost all these guys who suffer from these type of fatigues, like Kenny and them, early in the year they're strong. So watch for Seth Hamaker in those first few rounds to be right in the mix. But he also has had a tendency to make mistakes. I will tell you what, do not blink during this East Coast round because there is going to be so much action. There's at least 13 guys that can win the race, and every single one of them at this first round believes they're going to win. Then we've got Austin Forkner, and speaking of brain injuries, this guy had brain surgery in the offseason. He won the first round last year, and he was looking like it was a beautiful start. It was the redemption of his career, and he had that catastrophic crash where he flew off and landed on the concrete. He hit so hard, but then we found some other issues, and he's also switched teams. His whole career, he has been with Pro Circuit Kawasaki and Mitch. He has changed it up, and clearly, Jordan Smith has proved the Triumph program can win races. They are good, so he's got all the tools that he needs to be a winner, just like he has in the past, but he is a big question mark. When you have that much time off with that serious of an injury, it kind of changes your outlook on life. It changes your outlook on everything. But I'm hearing he's looking really fast. And like I said, he's won a lot of races in this class, and he very well could win again. But I don't see it right off the bat. I think Austin Forkner is going to go out there and kind of find his legs on this Triumph. I don't think there's expectations like there were in every other year. It was win or bust. This year, I think if Austin Forkner is just up there in the top 5, top 3, showing speed, I think that's a success. And that's what he gets by moving to a new team. You get a clean slate. The expectations kind of go away, and they say, well, what can you do for us? And that might be very refreshing for Austin Forkner. Then we've got Max Anstey, the star Yamaha rider. Max is good. He's won races. If it rains, Max Anstey is probably the favorite to win every round. I don't think we're going to get a lot of rain. I believe Tampa is going to be good weather, but you never know. It's Florida. It could roll in 20 minutes. If it rains, look at Max Anstey. If not, I see Max around top 5. I don't see him doing anything particularly special, at least early when it's this gigantic deep field. He's a little bit older. He knows how to manage and get through an entire series, and that's what I expect Max Anstey to do. Another guy we've completely forgotten about who's been gone with injury for so long is a guy who's won multiple races, Nate Thrasher. This guy is win or crash throughout his entire career. Once again, he's aging just a little bit. Now, with age comes a bit of maturity. After sitting out multiple seasons, will he calm down? Will he take that speed and harness it and spread it out through the entire year? Or is he still going to go balls to the walls and end up hurt? I don't know. because he's a guy who could go on a run and very well win this championship. Check out Ride Strapped. We got the Cooksey Cookout in Daytona. This will be the Sunday after the Daytona Supercross. So we got Arena Cross on Friday, Supercross on Saturday, Cookout on Sunday. We'll have a sign-up sheet. We're going to take about 20 people and just have a good old time and do some bench racing the Sunday following the Daytona Supercross. Check out ridestrap.com. Precision Transport. This is a shipping company that's family owned. They believe in customer service, reasonable pricing, and making sure whatever you ship gets there the way you shipped it. Hit up pretransport.com. Motobilia. This is a memorabilia motorcycle, not just dirt bikes, all motorcycle, classic, whatever. It's a high-end memorabilia website. Check it out. You can sell your stuff there. You can buy stuff there. But it is one of the coolest sites. I'm going to have some really cool giveaways with Motobilia. I met with Rick Darty, who's running Motobilia, and he's got some really cool ideas, and we'll be announcing those here pretty soon. Check out motobilia.com. So I mentioned all those guys, and I haven't even gotten to some seriously heavy hitters. I'm still going through guys who've won races. Cameron McAdoo, pro circuit rider who's had a history of being crazy. He's absolutely nuts out there. He's scary, but he wins races, and he'll never short you on effort. Very much like RJ and Jordan Smith. This dude, he makes so many bad decisions. He is scary. People talk about Vince hurting people. Cameron McAdoo has hurt way more people than Vince, but nobody seems to talk about it because he's a nice guy. But if I was racing in the East and I came across Cameron McAdoo anytime during the first couple of rounds, be careful. He doesn't know where he's going, so you won't know where he's going. He's kind of scary, and if you want to be in it for the long haul, steer clear of Cameron McAdoo. Now we're getting to some of the guys who haven't won races in the past. That's crazy, right? In an East Coast regional series, we had almost, I think I was nine guys I just mentioned who have won races in this class and one champion. That is a stacked field for a regional series. Now we've got a guy who's won outdoors. He has not won Supercross. Chance Hymas, the HRC rider. And I have to laugh. Moto Jones calls him Chance Hyman. I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh. So that's Moto Jones, not me. He calls him Chance Hyman. But Chance Hymas had that knee injury, tore his ACL, which he did. That's 2 ACLs for Chance Hymas. Is he fully recovered? I don't know. And he also hasn't proven he can win in Supercross. So I'll be watching to see what he can show out there and can he keep it together. The thing about Chance Hymas is he's got to stay healthy because outdoors is really his bread and butter. But he's also, if you want to be successful in this day and age, you have to be able to ride Supercross and outdoors. He's proven he can go outdoors. Can he prove that he can be a contender indoors? I don't know. Then we got the Club MX rider, rejuvenating Max Volan. This poor kid has been through the ringer. That hip injury he had last year was nasty. I'm glad he's even able to come back. Apparently he has some nerve issues with his brake foot. So he has a hand brake built onto his bike. So he's got to change his entire riding style. But if there's anyone that could deal with that, it's the incredibly talented Max Voland. What he's got to do is go out there and show himself that he belongs. If he can get inside the top 5 or even the top 10 at the first couple rounds, because it's so stacked, and just get through all the laps, stay consistent, and build, look for Max Voland to start showing you his potential. I love how Club MX grooms their talent. They don't just put them in there and put pressure on them and hope it works. Brandon and Mike B, they build and cultivate talent. It's the perfect place for Max Voland. He was projected to be a superstar, and I still think he can be. Are they going to get it out of him? Then you got Dax Bennick. Daxton Bennick is in his sophomore year. He started out last season. He was on the podium. People forget he podiumed the first round last year. So he has shown he's one heck of a rider. But it went all downhill from there. He just couldn't seem to get it together. He had fatigue, arm pump, confidence, all sorts of issues. This is an important season for Daxton Bennick. If he wants to continue to be a factory rider and not be demoted to some of the teams like Club MX, Quadlock Honda, which are great teams, but they're not Star Yamaha. If he wants to stay on a top tier team like Star Yamaha, he has to prove he can be a contender. He has to make those guys think he has a chance to win. With the guys at Star Yamaha, you don't have to win, but you have to show them that you could win. And if you can do that, you can stay on the team. If you can't, you'll be looking for a ride. Speaking of, unrealized talent, Carson Mumford. If you guys ever watch him ride, he's one of these extremely talented kids that just hasn't had the breaks. From the second he turned pro, his team folded. He had to go to Michael Lindsay's team, which God knows that's a career killer if you've ever seen one. Dealing anything with Michael Lindsay's garbage. So he got through that. Then he's kind of struggled. He went to MCR, and he looked so fast on that MCR Honda, but he was racing himself into shape. That's never a good way to start the season, trying to race yourself into shape. He did. He looked really good. Now with this quad lock Honda team, they are much like Club MX in the sense that they will build their talent. Yariv does a great job with his entire team. And I've seen those guys in the pits. That's a good atmosphere to be in for somebody like Carson Mumford, who has the potential but hasn't realized it. But it's also very important that Carson Mumford gets some results this year. If not, it's going to be hard for him to have a job anywhere. Because if you can't succeed on the major teams, and then you get on these teams like Quad Lock or Club MX, and if you can't succeed there, at that point, maybe it's time to look for a different career. There's a lot of pressure on Carson Mumford this year. I think he's up to it. That is 13 guys that I've just talked about. And there's so many more fast dudes. HBI is returning. You know, they've been kind of MIA. They had to limit their budget because they get almost zero support from other manufacturers. Matt Bell spends his own money to go racing. So he has decided to focus on the East. He's got Aiden Shive and Cole Bradford. Both of these guys are going to have a hard time getting in the main because it is such a deep field. Can they do it? I don't know, but I will definitely be watching for the HBI guys. Then you've got Harry Koulas and so many other top tier riders trying to get into that main event. It is not going to be easy, and you're going to have some factory riders or some top names that are going to end up in the LCQ. Anyone who's not on a factory team that gets into the main event at Tampa, hats off. That will be an accomplishment. Thank you to all the members. I appreciate you guys so much. We are giving away a classic jersey from Motobilia and also some more Nano. So anyway, that will be at the end of February. Every month I'm going to be doing a live show where I do some giveaways. Alias Gear gave away a full set. We gave away some Nano. Like I said, I'm going to keep giveaways rolling every single month. And I'm trying to do some exclusive content for you guys. But it's hard because honestly, I give pretty much everything I have in the regular videos. There's not a lot that I hold back that I can't give because I'm kind of transparent. I give you everything. But I will still try and do some specific stuff for you guys. So anyway,